The biggest fortune in history were not made when times were good. They were made in moments just like this. Right now, fears everywhere, chaos, panic, market splitting. And while most people are running for the exit, the wealthy are rubbing their hands together, waiting to pounce. Because they know something you don't. They know this is exactly how generational wealth is built. The question is, will you play the game or will you fall for the trap? This cycle is different. The moves being made behind the scenes are bigger than anything we ever seen before. The institution, the billionaires, the states are all stacking bitcoins like never before. The only question left is, are you paying attention? Let's break it all down. Do you know that wealthy people wait for bloodbath? They love it when there's blood on the street because they understand this is where real wealth is created and accumulated. But for most regular people, panic takes over. They sell everything in fear. I know because I've been through it myself. Back in 2008, the real estate bust, I lost 4 houses. Every home was underwater. Some people walked away. Others had to do short sales. And guess who buy them all up? The wealthy. Not just because they had money, but because they knew exactly when to buy. Years later, those same properties were worth a fortune. This is how the game is played. If you haven't lived through something like that, learn from experience. Now, instead of real estate, you can apply the same strategies to Bitcoin. Keep stacking, buy a little more when it dips, and never think about selling your Bitcoin. Instead, plans to pass it from one generation to another generation. In the near future, there will be ways to live on your Bitcoins without selling it. Right now, using Bitcoin as collateral is possible, but it's still risky. However, very soon, regulation, banks, and institutions will create safer methods to use Bitcoins for financial leverage without having to give up your stack. Guys, you need to fully grasp and never forget this. The wealthy are playing an entirely different game, and understanding this is absolutely crucial. As an investor, you need to recognize what's happening behind the scene. The wealthy do not accumulate bitcoins like regular people. They do not place orders on public exchanges where their moves could pump the price. Instead, they acquire Bitcoin quietly through private over-the-counter OTC deals or by using sophisticated buying algorithms that prevents a spike in price. And this is the biggest reason why Bitcoin isn't already at $500,000 or higher. If every $1 billion buy order hits the public exchanges, we would see massive spikes. But that's not how they play. Instead, institutions, corporations, and high net value investors accumulate Bitcoins through private deals and store it away in cold wallets, not on Coinbase, not on crypto.coms or Binance, away from the hands of retail investor. And this is why so many people are confused. Every day you hear reports of massive Bitcoin buys, hundreds of millions, sometimes billions. Yet the price doesn't skyrocket. And why? Because those coins never hits the open market. They're being absorbed before the rest of the world even realize what's happening. What you see on the exchange price chart, that's the retail price. That's what regular investor, people like you and me, are paying and distribute into. Meanwhile, the big players are hoarding supply in private transaction. If there was no OTC market, Bitcoin would already be worth millions. Let me ask you this. Do you believe that if all this Bitcoin buying happened on public exchanges, Bitcoin would still be under $100,000? Not a chance. If OTC didn't exist, we'd already be talking about Bitcoin in the millions. But the wealthy don't want you to be in this game. They want you to sell your Bitcoin in fear while they accumulate in silence. And let me tell you something that is very important. If you sell your Bitcoin, once the wealthy get their hands on it, there's no chance of getting it back. It will be stored away for good, locked up for generations to come. You will never see those Satoshi ever again. This is why I keep telling you, do not sell. Keep stacking. No matter the price, no matter the news, no matter the FUDs, just keep accumulating. Because one day, when the supply shrink finally hits, Bitcoins will be gone. And those who hesitated will be left watching, unable to buy at any price. Now, don't be discouraged or look down on yourself for accumulating small amounts of Satoshis. I'm telling you, in the near future, it's going to be nearly impossible for regular people to even get their hands on a single Satoshi. Now, don't get confused yet. I'm talking about purchasing. But you can't always label for it that if someone willing to part the Satoshi, the small amount of Satoshi you're stacking that some people call the dust of Bitcoin, one day it will be like gold dust or even fairy dust, able to get you anything your heart desires. Bitcoin will be so valuable that it won't be something casually spent. It'll be a high status asset. Only talk about in country club, billionaire circles, and elite financial discussion. And while the ultra wealthy talk about owning whole Bitcoins, the rest of us will be measuring our wealth in Satoshi millionaires among regular people. Satoshis will be a household name. What people ignore today will soon be the most sought after assets in the world. This cycle is different. Look at who's buying. This isn't just another bull run. The buyers this time around are different, stronger, bigger, smarter. MicroStrategy is stacking more Bitcoins than most nations. BlackRock is moving in with the ETF. US states are waking up. 18 states have introduced bills to accumulate Bitcoin. And at least 2 states, Arizona and I couldn't think of the other one, have already passed legislation. Even the US government is putting a plan together for Bitcoin's strategic stockpile. Every bank will be forced to buy and hold Bitcoins to serve their customer needs. These companies, these institutions, these governments, they are not his to trade. They are his to buy and hold. Think about that. We never, in any previous cycle, seen this level of accumulation from institutions, corporations, and government. This is new territory. This cycle will not be like the last one. The window is closing. Act before it's too late. The supply is getting eaten up. The wealthy are making their moves. Governments are taking notice. The only thing left for you to do, stay ahead of the crowd. Keep stacking, keep accumulating, because when the supply shock hits, you won't want to be one of those people left asking, why didn't I buy more? And trust me, that moment is coming sooner than you think. And don't forget to hold tight and stack it right. Take care, everyone.